Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to record a video about who Leadstars is and what do we actually do. Leadstars is a recruitment marketing agency, and we specifically help recruitment and staffing agencies getting new clients and getting more qualified applications for their vacancies and the vacancies of their clients, of course. So the first question that might pop up is, why do you only help staffing and recruitment agencies? Long story short, I started working as a marketer at a recruitment agency in Amsterdam, and I saw that there was so much potential. There were so many things done wrong. And it's not just recruitment agencies, but also companies as a whole that are just struggling to find the right candidates. The labor market, even on an international scale, is super difficult. And I saw that there was opportunity to fix that. So, the dual growth engine for recruitment and staffing agencies. We are solving two big challenges, which is attracting high quality clients and sourcing qualified candidates at scale. Sourcing might be a better word for it because we don't actually source exactly. Unlike traditional growth strategies that address one side of the equation, we do both. So Leadstars powers both simultaneously through integrated systems that work together. So we get new clients for recruitment agency, we also get new candidates for them. We have a multi-channel approach, and today I'm going to take you along in how does that look like exactly, what is the differences, what are the kind of results you can expect, and how we basically put any kind of recruitment agency in the most luxury position ever. Then to answer your question, why do we only work with recruitment and staffing agencies? Like I said, I started working there, so I know what the ins and outs of the business are, but also the thing that is most interesting for us is, of course, long-term partnerships. And while companies fluctuate in their hiring needs, recruitment agencies always need candidates, they always need clients, they always need to fill, they always need a lot of applicants, and of course new clients as much as their capacity can hold it. So there's more consistency, and there's more ask, there's more demand for candidates in that way. So that way we can build long-term partnerships. And also, the most important one is the systems we put in place generate a whole lot of applicants and a whole lot of prospects interested in getting to be your client. So that takes a good sales team and a good recruitment team to be behind that, because we don't do the follow-up of all the leads. We just make sure they come in. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do. Most staffing agencies struggle with inconsistent growth because they treat client acquisition and candidate sourcing as separate problems. When client pipelines dry up, revenue suffers. When candidate pools shrink, placements slow down. This creates an unpredictable feast or famine cycle that limits long-term success. The Leadstar solution. We've engineered two integrated systems that work in harmony. They complement each other. The client acquisition system, the SAS system we call it, generates qualified client leads every month. Well, the JAM system, job marketing campaigns, AI sourcing, and multi-channel job distribution, and I'm going to elaborate what that means exactly, delivers qualified candidates at scale. Together, they create a self-reinforcing growth loop. Okay, let's get into the client acquisition system. How does it work? In order for us, before we set up the campaign, before we do anything, it's super important that we know your ICP, your ideal customer profile. As a recruitment or staffing agency, you might focus on multiple niches. You might focus on one niche. For example, the ideal prospect you want to have a meeting with is a director or owner of a technical company that has at least 500 employees and is based in London, for example, right? Okay, that is your ICP. We can go much deeper into that, but that is all the things we need. Size of the company, the industry of the company, and the decision makers you want to reach, you want to have meetings with, okay? Once we have defined your ICP and know exactly who your ideal customer profile is, and this is a step that is not on this list but is super important, is to get a clear vision of your proposition. What makes you unique? Why should companies and people outsource their recruitment at your company? What makes your recruitment and staffing agency different than the hundreds of thousands besides that one? That is super important. So we need to get the ICP clear, and we need to get clear what your proposition is. What is your guarantee? What is the results you deliver? That's super important for us to know. The next thing we're going to do is launch multi-channel campaigns. How does that look like exactly? What we're going to do is we're going to do two ways we're going to get leads, two aspects of the system. The first is ICP outreach. ICP outreach means that from every prospect you've given us, just from every ideal customer profile you've given us. For example, you want to have meetings with owners of a technical company, minimum 500 employees based in London, right? We can get anybody's contact details in the B2B space. So that's their name, full name, LinkedIn profile, email address, and phone number. And no, I'm not talking about a general phone number, I'm talking about their number. Okay, then you might ask, yes, it is fully GDPR compliant and it's fully complies with the law. It's just public information that the tool brings together and makes it easier to find. So with all those contact details, we can reach out to all your ideal prospects. And then you might think, we are not actually going to reach out to you. We're going to do it in your name. How are we going to reach out to those prospects? We're going to do it through LinkedIn, through email, and through WhatsApp. Calling is also an option, but I'll talk about that later. We are going to create a sequence that is automatically, through your LinkedIn account, through your email account, through your WhatsApp account, is going to reach out to those prospects. And it's not LinkedIn, email, and WhatsApp at once. It's very human-like, and it will have almost 100% response rate. That's pretty much of a guarantee, right? What we do with the multi-channel approach, we make hyper-personalized message for every prospect we reach out to, with also, of course, elaborating on your proposition and, of course, eventually converting them into a call, into a meeting, etc. With that, we get a lot of positive replies because everything is personalized. The prospect basically feels like, oh, wow, somebody really looked into my company and might help me with my hiring needs. Amazing. Let's book a call. The powerful thing is that if somebody doesn't reply on email or LinkedIn, we reach out to them through WhatsApp. Someone doesn't reply on WhatsApp, we reach out to them through LinkedIn. Someone doesn't reply on LinkedIn, we reach out to them through email. So that multi-channel approach almost guarantees a 100% response rate because nobody's not going to respond on 3 platforms. Like I said, it's not spammy in that way. It's very gradually reaching out to the prospect, warming them up, visiting their LinkedIn profile. Then you might ask, oh, so you have an automation tool? Yes, in a way, but we also know outreach. So we know what speaks to people and we know how to get a response. And of course, a positive response. So that is the first part of our system, the ICP outreach. The second thing we have is the B2B ad engine. What we're going to do is with the proposition we have, we're going to turn your proposition into advertisements. And those advertisements are going to go live on Meta and Google. Meta is the mother organization of Facebook and Instagram, and Google is Google. What is so powerful about advertising on Meta and Google is on Meta, let's begin with the amount of reach you have. It depends on where you target. You could be targeting Amsterdam. You could be targeting the entirety of the United States. You could be targeting London. You could be targeting South Africa. It doesn't really matter. We can target very specifically with these advertisements. The beautiful thing is with Meta, you kind of reach out to people in a more passive state. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, mostly personal stuff. Of course, a lot of businesses also advertise there. So people will see your offer in a way they're more in a passive state, which is good because that's a difficult audience to reach out to. But they see the ad, they click on it, they come to a separate landing page that we built, really showcasing your proposition. They leave their contact details and are ready to being reached out to, and of course converting into a call or a booked meeting. The second thing is Google. Why is Google so powerful? With Google, we can show the ads to people that have a certain amount of search intent, which means if someone is looking for like recruitment outsourcing, let's just say mechanicals want it or something similar, doesn't really matter. As long as somebody is search intent based, somebody's looking to outsource recruitment or looking for a certain specific profile, they will automatically see the ad, which is very, very powerful. Also using this combination. Also there, when they click on the ad, you've probably seen those search ads once. They'll also go to a custom landing page, really showcasing your proposition. They'll leave their contact details, and in that way, we also get leads in, we get prospects in. So it's ICP outreach and the B2B ad engine. The third thing we have is CRM and automations. Most clients of us already have a CRM, so we can make a custom connection in that. If you don't have a CRM, client customer relationship management tool, we have one that also has automations, which means if somebody thinks like, hey, yeah, this looks like a good advertisement. They can probably help me find the right candidate. Click on it, leave their details, and I'll, for example, automatically get a WhatsApp. They automatically get an email. So the response rate, of course, is a lot higher because they're in touch with your company right away. And in the CRM, you of course have a clear pipeline stage of all the prospects that have come in and what stage they're in. Are they booked? Do they have a meeting booked? Is a deal closed? Is the deal lost? Etc. We can also, of course, have access to that and kind of see where the leads are going, which of course is also important for us. The thing is, with this system, you basically get an automatic, and I know everybody says it, I know there are thousands of lead gen agencies out there right now, but like I said, we're the only marketing agency focusing on this niche on recruitment and staffing agencies. And with this, you just get an automatic filled pipeline with prospects that are looking to outsource their recruitment. All right, let's go to Jam, the candidate generation powerhouse. What is job marketing campaigns? What is AI sourcing? And what is multi-channel job distribution? The three pillars. With job marketing campaigns, we're going to turn a vacancy text into an advertisement. Basically the same thing with Google Meta with the B2B proposition. Now it's just for a vacancy. This vacancy is going to go live on Meta, so that's on Facebook and Instagram. The beautiful and the powerful thing about this is that we reach the most interesting part of the labor market, which is the passive candidates. If you look at an international scale, 70% of the entire labor market is a passive candidate. It's someone who is currently has a job, is not looking for a job, maybe he's taking a little break, but is open to a good offer if he or she gets to see that. And that is what we do with those vacancy ads on Meta. We reach out to those passive candidates. Besides the fact that we can, of course, target very specifically certain countries, certain cities, and also, of course, on certain interests. So, for example, if I'm looking for a marketer, I can say, or for a marketing manager, let's take that example. I can say to Meta, I want you to show this ad in Amsterdam with a 15-kilometer radius, targeting people that have already shown interest or affinity in marketing jobs, etc. Because Meta saves everybody's interest and knows what people are interested in. And that way we can show the ads to the right people right away, which of course is also a very powerful targeting option. Then comes the second pillar, which is AI sourcing. I saw that a lot of recruiters are manually sourcing, still in this era, manually sourcing, finding the candidates, making a list of them, reaching out to them, hoping they will get a response. They won't get a response, and they have to send a follow-up. There was so much to optimize there, and of course with the upcoming, well, it's not upcoming anymore, it's a part of our daily life, I guess, AI, there's a lot of opportunities there to also take over that manual work and make it AI proof. So how does it work? We deliver the AI sourcing tool a vacancy text. It analyzes the requirements and then automatically goes searching on LinkedIn to find prospects, to find candidates that live up to those requirements. You get a list of that. That could be a couple dozen, a couple hundred, a couple thousand candidates, depending on the kind of candidate you're looking for and what the radius of location is, that all fit that description. What happens next? AI is also automatically going to reach out to them. No, not fully AI written, but personalized. So with their name, like for example, hi John, hi Tim, hi Mark, and then of course with the, well, we have a certain strategy in that. I don't want to say with the vacancy that we're looking for them to apply for. We have a certain strategy that basically gets above 50% response rate on LinkedIn. The AI sourcing tool works on LinkedIn and email. I'll tell you about that in a bit. So we have a certain strategy of reaching out to those candidates which we get a 50+% response rate, right? It's a psychological factor that we've implemented there that which works very well. Besides reaching out to them on LinkedIn, so sending them a connection request and of course sending them the first message, second message, third message, sending them follow-ups, not right away, there's a couple weeks in between, but making sure they respond, of course. 70% of the time we can also find the email address of the candidate and that way reach out to them through email. Not every candidate is very active on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, even though I'm not a candidate, but I'm very active on LinkedIn, but not everybody is. So you want to have a multi-channel approach in that way. And that way we can also find your email address and say like, hey, I just sent you a message on LinkedIn. I have this great vacancy for you. I think you'll be a perfect fit. And then of course send the email with all the vacancy details. And that way at scale, we automatically reach out to interesting candidates through LinkedIn and through email. Multi-channel approach, best way to go. Then the third thing This, I'm going to be very honest, is the most uninteresting thing. If you look at the amount of active candidates, the percentage of that in the entire labor market on an international scale, it's between 10 and 15%, which is relatively low. It's not the main target area. But I didn't want to forget the active candidates. So we also have a tool that multi-publishes a vacancy on the 15, it says 10, but the 15 biggest job boards in the country. So that's also Indeed, it's also LinkedIn, it's also Google Jobs, it's also Monsterbird, and a whole lot of other great and big job boards. That way we reach out to the entire labor market and we get the passive candidates, active candidates, and on LinkedIn and email you kind of get a combination of both. And of course your vacancy is distributed so widely that literally candidates cannot escape them. That's what I basically always say. They should always see your vacancy. So that is the 3 pillars of job marketing campaigns: AI sourcing and multi-channel job distribution. If you look at the metrics of job marketing campaigns, is that we always see with our clients that the application volume is around 3 times more. It depends on the type of vacancy, I have to say. If you're looking for a director or a CAO, it's different. The application volume will still be more, but it would be different because depending on the qualification questions, etc., we ask, it also depends how many candidates come in. When people apply through Meta, through the job marketing campaigns, it's also something I forgot to mention. They cannot just leave their contact details. They first have to answer certain qualification questions. If they answer them all correctly, then they get the option to fill in their contact details. And this way we only get qualified candidates through Meta. But I'll tell you about that more later in later videos. So application volume rises to 3 times the amount. Time saved 60%. We can make that 70% easily. 10 plus platforms, job boards, and Facebook and Instagram, and of course LinkedIn and email. You're basically active on all the powerful recruitment platforms. What we see is that the reduction in time to fill from hard to fill positions to a little bit more simple functions is 45% faster. So let that number speak for itself. Okay, the combined growth, how SaaS and Gem work together. We have clients that we only do recruitment marketing campaigns for. We have clients that we only do the client acquisition system campaigns for. Bringing them together is the most accumulated growth we can get. We basically put a recruitment or staffing agency in a luxury position. SaaS brings new clients, and of course Gem fills roles. And if you have more clients, more vacancies, more candidates, more placements, is more growth in general. If you look at the predictable growth month after month, if you look at our current clients and the amount of clients they retain, it's about 85% they retain, because suddenly recruitment agency is where it wants to be and it does fill vacancies fast and it does keep their client happy. Revenue growth, yes, 2.5 times much. Yes, that's the correct number. We even had a couple campaigns recently where we did almost €500,000 euros. So you can calculate what that is in dollars for three clients in like 1 month. So yes, revenue rises a lot with getting new clients and of course getting the placements in. Time to fill improvement, of course, improves by 95% when you do it, if you compare it to benchmarks and you compare it to Leadstars. So this is the combined growth system we have for recruitment and staffing agencies. I know it's a lot of information. It is completely unique. Nobody's doing this. There's no company that is primarily focused, no marketing agency that's primarily focusing on recruitment and staffing agency and helps them on both sides, the client side and the candidate side. If you like to know more about what we do exactly and how we could implement it for your recruitment or staffing agency, please click on the link in the description and then we'll have a free of charge strategy call where I'll walk you through what your current acquisition strategy looks like and what it could be, or what your current recruitment strategy looks like and what it could be. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched it all to the end, I salute you. Please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.